remember your civic duty. You got to go out and vote. It doesn't matter the candidate as long as you speak your mind. That's why we have America. Many people died for this country. And that's what we all should do. Last week, I thought Halloween night we played. It was a good crowd, good week, good weather for football. We didn't play very well defensively. There was some spots there that we did, but I thought, Edward Williams had another good game. So did Perry Nickerson. I thought he played pretty well. I thought Perry played the best of it. Some of our guys just didn't tackle well. That was the biggest thing. Thought we didn't tackle. I thought the Tyler Gilbert deal, I don't know if that was the intent of the rule, but it was the correct call. And I thought that kind of set us back a little bit defensively. Offensively, we got Tanner Lee back. I thought that was one of the biggest surprises. It was as well as he played against that caliber of a team. But as throughout the game, we lost Sherman early in the game, and then we lost Lezedrick, and it really kind of got us in a little bit of a funk, I would say. Losing X also early in the week. We got some losses. So, I look out on the field, it's all freshmen playing. Tanner he was a veteran out there. He was a redshirt freshman. It was just a bunch of true freshmen out there playing. And, I thought they fought hard. They did the best that they could. Sometimes when you're going against an experienced bunch like that, you get that. I thought they out-experienced us more than anything offensively. Special teams didn't hurt us at all. We had the one play with Teddy, and, we just got to get these young kids to understand, your 10-yard rule. That's what you got to do. But looking forward to getting back on the field. Looking forward, we had a good practice this morning. I thought we were well. I look over there, I see a couple of my guys out that I really depend on. But other than that, I thought the defense ran around well. I think we got their attention. Any questions? And I think they're in really, really good spirit. Totally different team from last year. You look at last year's team, we had 6 or 7 guys go on and get opportunities to play in the NFL. I think 4 or 5 of them still in some type of capacity. Totally different mindset, totally different leadership quality. We had some older guys that, if we need a play made, Julius Wormley was going to make a play. Chris Davenport was a big impact. You had Ryan Grant. He was there to make a play all the time. So we had some guys that from a year ago that we had some tremendous leadership, older guys, that understood. And then the league was a little bit different. These kids, I think their attitudes are great because I don't think they don't know they don't know. I mean, they're playing against guys that, 22, 20, 21, 22-year-olds. And I just think they trying to get lined up, trying to get the assignment right, trying to get the right gap on defense, a lot of these first-time players. So I think the attitude is pretty good for losing, but, they really playing. So I don't know if they're focusing on the wins and the losses. They're focusing more on, I better get this one particular thing correct. You know what? If those guys are out, I'm gonna play you because I know you ran a lot of steps this morning. But it's always a concern when you get a player like Sherman, probably our most dynamic player on offense. He's out, and then your most physical player, offensive player out. And I would say there are older players on our offense because they're not true freshmen. But one's a freshman and one's a sophomore. So it's a huge concern about those guys. Hopefully David does a good job this week, and we could get those guys back in some capacity. If not, I thought Dontrell played tremendous for a freshman, coming in an environment like that, and to rush for that many yards against that defense. I thought that defense was a really well prepared defense, and and then his protection was good. Tanner only got hit 4 times, and 2 of the 4 was his own fault, and then 1 was on a scramble. But I thought Dontrell did an excellent job, and then we gotta hopefully we can find a Medea or find a Marshall Watley in this crew. Yeah, I want him to be better, but I don't want to add any more pressure on him. I want to be able to do the same things that we've done. I want to expand some stuff for him, get him in situations that he can really succeed. You know, if it's two receiver routes, if it's reading one side of the field, you know, we've done some of that, and we're going to continue to do that. But I don't want to just go wild and willy and put the game on a redshirt freshman. I don't think that'll be fair to him. I don't think that'll be fair to us. So, you know, we got to do our older offensive line. We got to run it and continue to do what we've been doing.
Houston's won 3 straight games. They have what looks like work both defensively and offensively. Characterize the team for us. Let us know, kind of give us.
Well, I would say this quarterback is a very, very fast kid. You know, he can run. He's a jitterbug. He's not very big, but he can sure run. He throws it decent. I think they got some very speedy receivers. They're very equipped, but, you know, they don't throw it much. They run it. They got this back, this number 35, who's a really good physical back, and they kind of it's a little similar to us. They got 22 who, you know, beat us a couple years ago. So offensively, I think they got a lot of kids that can play well offensively. Defensively, they're going to bring pressure. They're going to play coverage behind their pressure. They got a good defensive line, and one kid transferred from Texas A&M, so he's a good player. The linebackers are, you know, good players. They lost, I think, one of their better linebackers, one of their better guys in the secondary, but they got a lot of guys. You know, they're a very, very good football team. Yeah, it's always hard to go on the road, especially with a team like this with a bunch of freshmen. You're taking them on the road with you, and they hadn't, you know, I don't think any of these guys even seen their stadium. Neither did we, because they got a new stadium, but they haven't gone to Houston. So this will be a good experience for us. It'll be a good experience game for us, and you know, I like some of our matchups against them, though.
Coach, I know you aren't here for all of these, but it's a 10-game losing streak for this team. Why do you think they have given you so much?
Well, right, as of right now, I think this week they'll give us problems because, you know, they're an older, experienced team. You know, you look at some of the players that they had in the past. The one kid was a #1 draft choice when we played up there last time, first-round draft choice with the Raiders. You know, they got guys on their roster that are very good football players. They've done it the right way. They've recruited their city, you know, like we're beginning to do. They got a bunch of players from the Houston metropolitan area and out of Dallas. They staying in the state of Texas. They're a speed team where, you know, here's what we're working on. We're working on getting speedier guys. That's a speed team. And whenever you're a speed team, you're going to cause problems to a team that hadn't had the tradition of being more of a speed, being a physical team. And where they are, you know, logistically in their program, they're a little bit further, I would say a little bit further advanced just because of not the years of coaching experience, but because they have some tradition going there. You know what? It's weird, but as you can see, you see the athleticism of Charles Jones. You know, a freshman that, you know, I don't know, since I've been here. You know, even Shockey, besides Jimmy Graham, I would say I don't know if Dave Thomas would have caught that. I know Shockey wasn't catching it the last couple of years there. But you see a guy get up, jump up, you know, turns over. It was like a back shoulder throw, and I know why Tanner threw it like that. And if you see it on film again, the wind kind of grabbed it a little bit, and he just kind of reached and reacted and caught it. I mean, it was a great catch, but it's what our program is now, and it is what it is. You know, you look out, Trey Scott, he makes the catch. Dontrell runs for 100 yards. Leandre catches a couple of them, and Vio does the same. And Onklot had one of his better games. So it's where we are now. You know, we got some guys banged up, but, you know, and that's what we counting on freshmen. And, you know, we just got to count on them, and we got to continue to coach them and get them better. You know, Nick Montana helped him so much, just seeing and talking to him. He and Devin Powell, just communicating with him. Those guys are classic teammates. And I think the decision-making is outstanding now. You know, I don't know if there was a truly, if you go back and watch it, I don't know if there was a bad read. Now, there was some stuff that was bad athleticism that we wasn't good enough at some spots quite yet. But, you know, I don't think there was a bad read in that game. Even the only thing that I would say, I'd tell you the worst thing he did, when on a 4th down play, we had to play, the corner usually crashed. He didn't hide the ball. and if that's the only thing he didn't do, and it kind of cost us maybe a touchdown, but if he'd have hit it, I don't think the corner would have seen it. The corner said it after. He said, I saw the ball the whole time in his hand. If he'd have just hit the ball a little bit better, but those are the little things that freshmen don't do. And I tell you this, he would never make that mistake again because he's not a habitual mistake maker.
Results, it looks like maybe with this year with the exception of SMU, this conference is pretty close together. How do you feel like your team is talent-wise? Now that you've seen everybody, and what makes it different from being losing in this conference right now?
Well, I think the biggest difference I would say in the conference overall is in the lines. I think from a year ago, I think some of the skills are about the same, but I think the lines are, the D-line and the offensive line is better than a year ago. I would say that we feel comfortable talent-wise because, we look at our talent, we look at our tight end, now, we got to look at it 2 years from now when Charles begin to get good and Sherman and all those guys begin to get really good players, and then we'll say, you know what, we'll be saying, they'll be looking at us saying, this team is talented, but it isn't a coach that don't come to us say, God, I can't believe how many freshmen you're playing before the game, and then after the game they say, God, leader, if your freshmen are talented, Tuberville after the game said, man, I'm glad that number 3 didn't play, because we had a concern about him. So we're getting their attention, but right now we just not ready to take the next step, and I think we're moving in that direction. You look at what we did offensively the other night, we really moved the ball well on a Cincinnati team that's a very good football team. Well, Rutgers, I thought I was disappointed at Rutgers. I was just more disappointed in the tackling. Secondary-wise, I didn't think, like I said, I thought Doss played pretty good, and I thought Perry Nickerson, I thought both of those guys played really well. Monroe and Schofield didn't have the tackling games that they usually have, coming up and tackling. I don't know why. Maybe they were spooked or whatever. But I think the secondary, besides the Rutgers game and maybe a couple plays in Duke here and there, but I thought they've been pretty good. I don't see very many wideouts. Perry gave up a big play against Central Florida, but I don't see very many wideouts just completing a lot of balls on us. I see there's a lot of underneath stuff that's going on. There's a lot of crisscross, and some of that stuff is, hey, you got to get some pressure. One thing I've been concerned all year about is just I don't think our defensive front is probably as physical as we need them to be in this league compared to a year ago, where I think our offensive front has gotten more physical. That's what enables us to run the ball much better. Tyler was a big part of the game plan on how we're going to stop this running back and stop what they were doing, some of the stuff they were doing. And so was Royce. When Royce went out, we had to play more dime because it was 3-4. The matchup wasn't there, and we had to go to 3-4, and we got a little bit smaller personnel. And I thought we got out physical somewhat in the game, but I think that was the best road to go in because you miss a player that practiced a position all week, and then we did practice some other stuff during the week. And our second answer was nickel, and so that's what we end up playing the game in more nickel.
I was trying to kind of follow up on that. It really, I think, exposed how thin those ranks are. I mean, you just want to make such a dramatic difference up front.
Look, you're telling me, and it's magnified. Not only you lose a person, but you lose your senior, you probably your leader. When you lose a guy like that, you go around. So you say, what do? Do you play a younger player? Do you play another freshman? Or do you do what you did in practice with the defense? You play some 3-4 stuff and to hope that you can buzz around and do some things like that. But we're not at the point in our program where you got a senior, then you got a junior right behind it, and then you got a sophomore behind him. We go from senior to freshman.
Moving the ball. There are some huge positives with the program said it's another loss.
Yeah, you know what? And talk with Mickey and the other before the game, Coaston and those guys were there. You know, I hadn't heard back from Sean. He'll probably send me a text sometime. But you know, all I'm saying is saying, hey, CJ, keep doing what you're doing. You know, the athleticism is there. You know, you guys just you know, and they know I know you guys make mistakes. You guys just making a bunch of mistakes, and it's just the little things that you're not doing. And you know, they may say, hey, maybe that team was a little bit more physical than you thought than it was last year. And I'll get even coaches from off that, you know, watch the games. Hey, if you guys were in the other conference, you'd be probably at the top of the conference because you got some skilled guys. You know, you got skill. So, you know, everybody likes our skill, and you know, they like us running the ball. It's just, you know, we just not quite there right now.
Knowing all the players you lost in the league that you were going into, do you know that this year might be a bit of a struggle? Do you think it was more of a
Every meeting we talked about, and I didn't know. I said we could be the first game. We could be the first 5 games. We could be 5-0. We could be 0-5. You know, every time we talk like that. And there's a plan for being 5-0. And there's a plan for being 0-5. You're 0-5. You gotta, you know, is what you tell a team and what message you want to relay. And I think the message is being relayed. One, we're going to practice hard every day. It's one step at a time. We're not looking forward to anything. We're not even looking forward to playing Houston right now. We've got to worry about ourselves, and we're looking forward to tomorrow's practice. You know, and that's kind of our mindset, and it's kind of been like that all year. And then, you know, we just got to continue to get better, continue to get better, continue to get better. Well, I looked over there, one had a boot on and the other one didn't. so I don't, you know, I don't know. I mean, you could answer that. No pressure from me, you know. No pressure from me. Understand when we got here, and the one thing I talked about, and everybody thought I was a liar. I said, look, the first thing we're going to do is we got to build this defense. You know, we got to build this defense the best way we can. I think if we want to survive in a conference like this, we got to play good defense. Then the next thing I want to do, I want to run the football. Well, everybody said, well, you're a receiver coach, you want to run the ball. Well, that's what I want. I think here at Tulane, I think that's the best thing for us to do. And we got to get into more formations, and we got to get more stuff like, you know, more plays. But I don't think we're really ready for that. So the offensive staff, you know, earlier in the year was disappointed the turnovers and the penalties, but other than that, you know, I think they what they're working with, they're doing about what they could do. Now, last year was a little bit different. You know, we just had, you know, we had different quarterback, we had to play the game for our defense. Last year, we all knew our defense was good. You know, so we had to play the game where we really didn't want to mess it up. You know, there were times when we wanted to throw you know, kids would say, come on, I got him beat deep. If I wasn't throwing it to Grant, I wasn't throwing it. You know, it was just, that's what we were going to do. But now this year, it's a little bit different team. It's a little bit different year. You know, we're growing as an offense together. I think defensively, we starting to understand this league. And I'm very impressed with, like, these corners. They really playing pretty good, you know. They playing outstanding. We just got to get a little bit more physicality up front. And I think we do it, but not consistently enough. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys, and go vote.